mentioned, there's a legal process in courts. Even though I don't really have faith in the Nigerian judiciary to do the obvious thing, which is to disqualify him, because he clearly should never have been on the ballot. This person is a criminal, but there is still a chance that something could happen there. So this could be a method of sort of ensuring that that base is covered, that, regardless of whatever decision is arrived at by the courts, that just by virtue of being in a state of war, he becomes essentially unremovable, which is permitted by the Nigerian constitution. The second thing is, it's clear to anyone who has I think a functioning pair of eyes that the French and the Americans are, for lack of a better term, blackmailing him. Because clearly he's not really in control here. If you followed the situation from day one, it's been clear that the decisions that he has made are not the decisions of someone who has actually thought this through. These are the decisions of a puppet who has someone's mouth in his ear and someone's hand up his arse, pardon my French. So, for example, 2 weeks ago, when this crisis initially erupted, under Nigerian law, a president is not permitted to deploy the Nigerian military outside of Nigeria without approval from the Senate, from the Parliament. It's not permitted. But he tried to circumvent that. He illegally deployed Nigerian special forces into Niger, and certain people within the Nigerian military actually were not on board with this at all. And they took an unprecedented step, right? They actually leaked a top secret document from the defense headquarters to me, right? Bear in mind that I'm viewed very much as a journalist who is almost like an enemy of state in Nigeria. So for the Nigerian military to actually leak such a document to me, I think that tells you everything you need to know about, how this war is viewed even within the ranks of the Nigerian military. So after this document was leaked and I put it out, I was accused of, treason, you're betraying soldiers' locations, you should be picked up, blah, 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 blah. But it achieved, that leak achieved its goal. It actually stopped that illegal invasion. And then he went to the Senate to ask for approval. The Senate turned him down. So now the tactic that has been adopted is to go hide behind ECOWAS and claim that, well, ECOWAS has approved the deployment of this thing called a standby force, right? First of all, who is ECOWAS? ECOWAS is Nigeria, right? So it's like saying, I don't know, if you're talking about the UK, right? And say there's something relating to football in the UK, and you say, the British team. No, there's England, which is by far the dominant force, and then there's Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland, but England is the dominant force. It's a similar thing within ECOWAS. There is no such thing as ECOWAS in the real sense of it. There is Nigeria. Every single time that there has been a military intervention by ECOWAS, it's essentially been the Nigerian military being deployed. So that's like the latest attempt to sort of end run the refusal by the Nigerian parliament to grant him his war, because he obviously desperately wants this war. And the sheer amount of desperation that is being displayed here makes it clear to me that this isn't something that came out of his own head, right? And the noises coming out of Paris and Washington, D.C. just make this all the more obvious. You essentially have President Macron almost issuing edicts. For many years, the French have sort of tried to mask their openly colonial positioning within West Africa. I remember sometime in 2020, I personally even wrote an article in the Africa Report, where I essentially pushed back on the idea that the French have direct colonial control